Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. We're here today to remember, to celebrate the life, and to acknowledge the passing of Patrick Hughes. I know from his family members and friends that I've spoken to that Pat loved his family and loved his friends, and would be so honored to see all of you here together today to honor him.
No, you're fine.
May we take a moment of silence. Divine Presence, we are grateful to be here together, to love and support one another as we celebrate the life and mourn the loss of Patrick Hughes, father, brother, in-law, friend. We know that life is eternal, and yet we cannot help grieving the death of the body that has been the earthly container for Patrick's beloved spirit. God, Spirit of love itself, we ask that we may feel the presence and be filled with love this day. Let that love comfort and nurture us and allow us to comfort each other. In the coming days and months, may we take solace in the knowledge of how well Patrick lived, how well he loved and was loved in this life. And so it is. Amen. We all have different ideas of the ultimate meaning of life, but there is a perennial wisdom and philosophy that has existed throughout the ages. The basic truths that are common and accepted throughout the world's major religions and philosophies. In other words, the things that humans throughout all time have basically agreed upon. This wisdom tells us that to treat others well, to be aware of the common good, not just for the good of ourselves and our immediate families, but for the common good, and to try to leave our corner of the planet, the people within our personal sphere, a little better off than it would have been without us. That is our worthiest goal in life. To follow the golden rule, not perfectly, but with diligence and within the limits of our humanness, is to live a good life. And it is clear to me that Patrick led a good life. He was aware of the less fortunate. He tried to help people in various ways and made an impact with his charity work. He raised 2 sons to be good men and to carry on that legacy of caring. He loved and was loved in return. We all also have different beliefs about death, about what, if anything, happens when life on planet Earth is over. There's much mythology around death, as humans have tried to understand, come to terms with, make sense of the loss of human life. I'm not here today to tell you about streets of gold or gardens of paradise. I don't know what happens after death. None of us truly knows for sure. But I will tell you what I do know and what I believe. I believe the best measure of life is in love given and received. I know that love is an energy and a power that overcomes all that is unlike itself. Love is the power, the only power, that can overcome hatred, fear, anger, apathy, and misunderstanding. I'm not a physicist, but I know that energy is not created or terminated, but can organize itself into various forms of matter and then reform back into energy again. As I understand it, nothing is ever gone. Pat's time in this physical world is over, but his energy, his essence, his love lives on in some form or forms, most certainly as the love in every one of you. Every bit of the love and kindness Patrick shared in his life is with you, all of you who loved and were loved by him. His acts of kindness live on in their lasting impact on the people he helped. His uniqueness lives on in its effects on you. His memory lives on in the minds of all those whom he touched. Love is not gone when a person is gone. I know there are hard times ahead for all of you. Grief is not easy, and the manner of Patrick's death brings about its own kind of grief that can be more insidious because we are left with so many unanswered questions. When the grief and sadness threatens to overwhelm you, I encourage you to remember the love. Nurture it within yourselves. Bank on it, draw from it, spend it on the ones you love. Remember it on the days when nothing else makes sense. Focus on the love he demonstrated and that you feel, on the manner that he lived, rather than the manner that he died. Remember that love does not die.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ricky Serrato. I'm a friend of Pat's and the family. We're gathered here today to celebrate the life of Pat Hughes. Pat was born in St. Louis, Missouri on St. Patrick's Day in 1955. Pat is survived by two great sons, Timmy and Jonathan, and his loving sister, Jane. Tim and Jonathan, I remember how much your dad loved you and how he loved to talk about you and your accomplishments. Whether it was playing roller hockey, ice hockey, or your latest electronic installation achievements. No matter when I talked to him, he was always quick to mention you. I remember all the road trips you took together to go to hockey games. Most of the time it started early in the day and ran late into the night. But he never complained. And he loved every minute of it. He was extremely proud of the men you've become. I first met Pat in 1994, and he first became my mentor, my best friend, and was like a brother to me. I will miss going to the boys' hockey games and hanging out by the pool, going to the pontoon, and just hanging out with him, because it was always a great time, no matter when. In all my years of knowing Pat, he was truly the best person I've ever met. I've never met anybody that didn't have a bad thing to say about anyone, but he was that person. I can truly say that to you, man. He was always quick to help out whenever you needed a helping hand, and he was always there for all of his friends. We all know that he was not very good at saying no to anyone. All you had to do was ask, and he would do anything he could to find a way to find you a solution and to help out. I know everybody's giggling because they all know it's the truth, right? He was kind, caring, and sharing. I could go on and on about the great ways to describe Pat, and they're all true. He was a remarkable father, brother, son, and friend to all of us. I'm going to miss him on his Friday trips back from Austin. Every Friday he would call me and talk to me on his trip back from Austin. I'm truly going to miss that. I look forward to that call every Friday afternoon, and when it didn't happen, I can tell you, I was chasing him down to see what was going on. But he was always there to call me and tell me, keep me up to date on what was going on in his life. I remember the great Christmas parties that we had and the St. Patrick's Day birthday party celebrations where we would all have wine tasting and would enjoy Pat's great cooking along with his famous fried turkey. Oh man, he made the best fried turkeys in the world. And everybody that worked at CA got to enjoy them during our Christmas celebration and spread. They were fantastic. Every year he was always happy to help out with the fundraising at the Denton State Supported Living Center, which they hold every year at the famous Northwest Point. Just a reminder that in lieu of flowers, the family is asking that you make a donation in Pat's name. I would also like to ask everyone to stop by the memorial table in front of me and write down a few of your favorite memories of Pat. Pat, you'll be greatly missed, but never forgotten, my friend. We love you, and God bless.
Thank you. Thanks, Ricky. Thank you, Ricky. Hello, everyone. I really want to thank you for coming. It means a lot. For being here to honor my brother and for sharing some of your memories of him. I've always found it interesting that people paint their loved ones as the most wonderful person in the world after they're gone. Well, Pat was not a saint, and any of you who spent a lot of time with him know that. And he was a very passionate man, not a very patient man, and he was a really good man. And he helped a lot of people, friends, family, and strangers alike, often for no reason or any expectation of reciprocation. He just loved to do whatever he could to help make other people's lives better. What probably none of you know is how he grew up. He didn't like to talk about it. On the outside, people saw that our parents owned an ice cream store, like a Dairy Queen, and we were lucky to eat ice cream all the time, which we were. And I did. What that really meant was that our parents worked 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, 8 months out of the year. My father drank and could be a really scary guy. We never knew what was going to happen next. That we both survived to go to college and become productive members of society is nothing less than a miracle. He never would talk about that, even with me. He said it was in the past and didn't feel the need to rehash those events. But our mother was a stronger person than I've ever known. She passed the drive to keep going on to both of us. So we managed to rise above it all and make something of our lives. I think his desire to help others was, in a certain way, an effort to make my mother proud and to do better than his father. He certainly raised 2 sons into wonderful young men. I watched him work so hard to make a good living, so he could give them anything they needed, and so often, everything they wanted. He did not complain. He just kept going. I know he was very proud of them and loved them dearly. They were like the 3 musketeers, best friends. He would have done anything for them. And in the end, I'm certain he left because he wanted to stop what he thought was hurting them. I know he did not realize that we would all rather have him here with us. He did not realize that this was not a sound logic, and he was, above all, a very logical man. Whatever demons he was facing, whatever caused them, be it childhood, the virus, or some physical disease, he's now free from pain. As much as I would give to have him here with us, it was not meant to be. We must go through this to get to the other side. We can mourn and cry and miss him, but to honor him, we must keep living. I can only hope that my life changes for the better because of this. Some wise person once told me that the only way to keep from hurting and feeling such pain when someone dies is to never love anyone. And who wants to live without the love of our family and friends? So we have sorrow today, and we miss him forever. Let him live on in our hearts, and keep a little piece of him alive in how we treat each other. Every time we get the chance to help another person, do what Pat would have done. So raise your glasses for a toast to Pat Hughes, we love, for all the great things he did, for the loving father, brother, son, and friend to many that he was. Let us always remember the good deeds, of which there were so many. Leave here with conviction to help each other. For in the end, the man who helped so many could not reach out for help for himself. Feel free, my brother. We won't forget you.
Amen. Love you, Pat.
Thank you all for coming, and don't forget to write something in a memory card. It would mean a lot to us.
I just want to thank everyone for coming out and see a lot of faces I haven't seen in years, decade or so, easily. So I really appreciate you taking your time and coming out. That means a lot to the whole family.
Thanks, let's eat.
Thank you.